Hello everyone, my name is Mystic. Today's What If is going to be the start of a new short series based on an idea I recently had regarding Bardock. I recently got the art back for this one, so I think this one will go well. It also serves as sort of a teaser for another What If series I'm planning on doing, so in any case, let's jump right into it. The destruction of Planet Vegeta is a major tragedy that no one saw coming, except one intelligent Saiyan was able to predict this event 1 month in advance, Bardock. This scenario follows him as he makes one different decision. 1 month before the planned day of destruction, the Saiyans are called back to Vegeta. Bardock realizes Frieza's plan and starts to plan to send Kakarot off to Earth. However, he thinks for a little. While discussing it with Gine, she mentions Raditz. An idea pops into his head. Raditz gets a secure transmission from Bardock. He answers privately, away from Vegeta and his squad, including Nappa and the 2 other unnamed Saiyans we see in the Broly movie. Bardock explains his suspicions related to Frieza, and at first, Raditz doesn't believe him. He says the same thing every other Saiyan does. No, it's nothing to worry about. It's probably just some big mission that Frieza needs all the Saiyans for. Bardock conveys his seriousness about the topic, telling Raditz that Gine and himself may die. Although Raditz doesn't like to show it, he really does have pride in his father, and cares about his mother deeply. He agrees to help Bardock for now. Bardock tells Raditz to inform Prince Vegeta about Frieza's plot, and tell him to inform the king. Raditz asks why not tell the king himself, but Bardock correctly assumes that the king wouldn't believe a low-class Saiyan such as himself, even if he had nearly matched him in power. Raditz agrees and informs Vegeta about Frieza's plan. He initially starts to deny it, but then he thinks for a moment and comes to the same realization as Bardock. I think Vegeta is smart enough at this point to come to the same realization as Bardock if he thought over it for a second. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure he came to the same realization in canon some point after the destruction of Planet Vegeta. He immediately sends word to the king, and convinces him of the plan as well. Vegeta and King Vegeta start to formulate a plan. A day or 2 passes. Vegeta is split off from his squad, who finish off the planet they were conquering, as to not regard any suspicion from Frieza. He's heading to another planet called Vampa. He lands and searches with his scouter to find the people King Vegeta had told him about. He sees 2 notable power levels, quite near to one another. He heads towards them and finds a young Saiyan and an older Saiyan. Vegeta approaches. Broly is playing with Ba, using the beast to train. Paragus is getting angry. Why is Broly wasting his time playing with this beast? He pulls out his gun, ready to shoot the ear of Ba off, when Vegeta arrives and deflects the blast away, and Broly and Ba notice. Broly flies towards his father and the stranger, as Ba simply retreats back into his hiding hole. Paragus is shocked. Prince Vegeta? Paragus' rage quickly shows on his face, and Paragus orders Broly to attack Vegeta. Broly rushes towards Vegeta, which amuses him. He catches his punch easily and throws him down to the ground. Broly shakes it off and shoots 2 blasts towards Vegeta. He easily knocks them away, but then notices something on his scouter. Broly's power. It increased? Vegeta is in awe. He realized quickly that if the fight continued, he'd be overwhelmed. He quickly got behind Broly and chopped his neck, knocking him out. Paragus looked shocked. His son, the mighty Broly, defeated in a single strike? He walked towards the prince with caution, asking why he had even come to this planet. Vegeta sneered at Paragus, telling him that he'd only come to apologize for his father's behavior, and offer them a chance to return home as the heroes to the Saiyan people that they deserve to be. Paragus looked at Vegeta, and noticed that his scouter had its microphone melted off. He asks him what this is about, and Vegeta explains the situation with Frieza. Paragus can't believe it, and nearly attacks Vegeta himself before Vegeta looks at Paragus with a stern, yet sort of somber look in his eye and says, "Unlike my father, I'm actually quite merciful. I apologize for his rash action of putting you and Broly in this situation. I'll make up for it tenfold when we return to Planet Vegeta." Of course, Vegeta was bluffing, and was only saying what Paragus wanted to hear. However, Paragus' hatred for the king isn't as strong as in canon, because he only really spent 5 years on Planet Vampa with Broly. So I'd say his resentment only went up to, I want to one-up King Vegeta and his stupid bratty son, but I guess he agreed to come back under these conditions. So he agrees to allow Broly to train with Vegeta and the elites for a while. Meanwhile, on a distant planet, the Saiyan warrior Bardock is scouting a recently sold planet. The planet's familiar to him, as he had attacked it before. The planet is, of course, Cereal, the former home planet of the Cerealians. Bardock is searching for Monito to ask him a favor when suddenly he fears a blast pierce his leg while flying, knocking him to the ground. A young boy is present, with one of his eyes being red. Bardock returns the blast, but the boy quickly darts off into the woods. Bardock was startled for a moment, but not too worried about the kid, as he knew who it was, though he's surprised at the power of the blast. He quickly darts out into the trees and off towards Monito's house, where he had been before, where the old man was brewing some tea. Bardock entered and sat down. Monito turned around and was in shock, happy to see his friend once more. They start having a chat about things and how they're going until Granolah enters the house and sees Bardock chatting with Monito. He looks in absolute shock and anger and is ready to kill Bardock on the spot, until Monito manages to calm him down by explaining the truth about what happened with the Saiyans. He tells him about the truth about the night of the invasion. Bardock looks at Monito and asks him for a favor. He asks if he can bring Granolah to Planet Vegeta to help defend against Frieza and his forces. Monito looks at him in shock, saying that not even the Dragon Balls could help defeat Frieza, so who's to say they can? Bardock looks at him confused. Dragon Balls? What are those? Monito quickly explains, and Bardock starts to form a plan B in case things go south with his plan. Monito agrees hesitantly, but Bardock explains that after Frieza is gone, the Saiyan people won't need to fight anymore, and that they can live in peace. Monito thinks for a moment and looks at the child Granolah. He sees his mother within him. He smiles a bit, and finally allows him to go train with Bardock. Granolah is conflicted. He wants to defeat Frieza, but to save the Saiyans? He still accepts the deal, knowing who he's going with, but he's still quite hesitant. Bardock sends Kakarot off to Earth, just in case his plan fails. Kakarot still lands near Gohan's house and eats and trains with him for the time being. We'll check up on him later. For now, Bardock, his squad, Raditz, and Granolah are all training together to prepare for the coming destruction. The King trains with Vegeta, Tarble, who had been called back for extra help recently, Nappa, Broly, and Paragus all train here as well. 2 weeks pass, and Bardock and his squad are sent off to a planet called Meat to help conquer it for Frieza. He knows this is a trap in advance and warns his teammates. He continues to train Granolah and Raditz, and they soon form a bond together like no other. Raditz and Granolah are similar in power by that point, and start to see massive gains from training not only with one another, but with Bardock as well. Their goal of becoming more powerful than Frieza also helps to boost their training efforts. His squad is, as usual, ambushed by Frieza's squad made by Dodoria, but this time things go a bit differently. Borgos and Shugesh manage to send out a fake moon, allowing the squad to turn into great apes and quickly defeat basically everyone but Dodoria. But Dodoria is able to evade their attacks and destroy the moon, and kills Shugesh while he's powering down into base. Borgos attempts to rush into Dodoria, but he manages to punch a hole through his chest, killing him as well. This enrages both Tora and Fasha, who rush at Dodoria. They're collectively more powerful than Dodoria, and they know this. Fasha and Tora manage to kill Dodoria, but not before they sustain major injuries. They manage to tough it out and survive before Bardock arrives and saves them. They're sent to be healed in a healing pod, which also manages to boost their power by quite a bit. Focusing on the elites for a second, King Vegeta, Tarble, Broly, and Vegeta are all training together. They also see great gains from training, especially Broly, and surprisingly, Tarble. Broly's growth is insane, with him already being the most powerful Saiyan in the elites group within the first 2 weeks. Vegeta and the King are close behind, with Tarble gaining amazing gains, being able to match his brother's newfound power, despite being younger. His newfound strength gives him the confidence to address an issue he's been thinking of, that he needs to bring up. The Saiyans after the defeat of Frieza. He confronts his father alone one day, and asks him something, and says, "Then I will fight to prove my point." I think that's actually a good place to stop for now. I think this will actually make for a great series going forward. If this gets enough attention, I might even continue into the future of the What If, even after the event concerning Frieza. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see all of you in the next part. Goodbye!